morning, good morning. Here we are. Let me pull this too. That's not what that means. That means go get on your blanket. Yeah, no. You've been so good over there for like an hour. You know, it's showtime. Is that it? You say hi to everybody? I don't want to get you wrapped up. All right. Good morning. Let's see if we can find each other here. Reload. There we are. Maybe. There we are. Good morning, Barbara. They're telling you good morning. He's put out because he can't be bothered. Good morning, David and Caitlin. Julie's here. Good morning, Susan. I'm so happy to see everybody. Valerie, it's going to be a good day. It really is. And today is Friday. I love that. Yay and yay. Yeah, I heard that too, buddy. There's banging and I'm home alone. Okay, just checking. I guess it's my neighbor building something in the front yard. Quarantine, everybody gets very industrious. And so my neighbor, his wife's family lives in Babson Park. And she drives back and forth every day. And he gets out there and he pressure washes her car every evening when she comes home to get the bugs off because it drives him crazy. And he's very industrious, so I think he's making something next door. Good morning, Mimi. Nice to see you. Some more comments. Oh, I love that heart. They make me happy. Good morning, Aunt Mimi. Mimi, your other St. Patrick's Day fabric arrived yesterday. All right. So, I got checked in with everybody. Let me know how you felt about yesterday's practice. I mean, you guys liked it, I think, and then I didn't get too much feedback on how that practice sat with you the rest of the day. But I liked the way the practice went. I liked the pace of the practice. I liked getting back to basics. And because we were focused on the basics and we were taking our time, we did 3 standing postures. Good morning, Alicia. We didn't get to any balancing postures. You good, buddy? We didn't get to any balancing postures. And I feel like if we really truly are going to cover basics, because we did some seated postures yesterday, 3 standing poses. So to finish out the basics, today we're going to work through balancing, how to place the feet, how to align the spine, to find that awareness. And we're going to do those entry balances like tree, dancer, and eagle. Now, eagle doesn't seem like that would be a beginner pose, but that is a balance where you can put the foot down and you wouldn't need to hang onto the wall. that coordination of crossing arms. It's just about those types of basics. And so we're going to worry about foot placements, where the arches are in our feet and in the toes. It should be a good practice. Well, good morning, Petra. I am glad that you're here. Good morning, Mom. Oh, good. Julie, I'm glad you learned a lot. And I'm glad you liked it, Alicia. All right, so we're going to get started. It's 9:05. Everybody who's practicing is probably signed in, and then those who can't, they'll be here eventually. So I know, Barbara, I liked it too. Always good to revisit and make sure we aren't getting sloppy. True, that's how we get injured most of the times in our yoga practice, is getting into or out of a posture because we're not paid attention to the alignment on the transition. We're focused on, this is where we were, this is where I want to go, and we don't enjoy the journey in between, just like life, right? So we want to just kind of pay attention to the transitions. Good morning, Wendy. And that will keep us from being sloppy as well. All right. Let's set in. We're going to sit comfortably. Feel those sits bones pressing down into the floor. Rotate the pelvis. Lift pelvic floor, pull the navel back, straighten the spine. Right ear, right shoulder. Left ear, left shoulder. Back to the center. Find your breath. Set your intention. Notice your breathing. I'm going to open those eyes and smile. Lace those fingers together, pressing out and up. So Petra, I agree wholeheartedly. Yesterday's class was amazing. Excited to do more basics. Fantastic. Lengthening up. Really big stretch. We're going to rotate to the right. Tall spine. Now remember, when we do this, we're not just whipping it around. We press down through the sits bones. We pull navel in. Slowly start to rotate at the waist. Mid-back. Shoulder blades. Nice full breathing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Slowly we're going to come back. Lace your fingers the opposite way, which makes your brain go Press out. Lift up tall spine. Really reach. Lift pelvic floor, pull navel in. And turn to the left. Tall spine here. Now remember, we're feeling grounded through sits bones, lifting pelvic floor, activating navel. So that's Mula Bandha if you're working on bandhas, right? Uddiyana Bandha. Nice rotation. Let that backhand elongate spine. We talked about the 5 directions of the spine yesterday. Allow the eyes to travel behind you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Slowly we come back to the center and reaching out and lengthen. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Slowly we come back up. Feel that work and just that movement this morning, trying to wake up that body. And we're going to change the cross of those legs. Right arm comes down. Left arm reaches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. The hand comes up. Bend at the elbow. Twist it through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to unwind and lengthen back. And then slowly we're going to come up. Left arm comes down. Reach. Pressing right hip down. Opening through the rib cage. Turning that armpit up. Make space between the ear and the shoulder. Don't dump out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hand comes up. Bend at elbow. Twist it through. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Unwind and lengthen. Slowly we come back up. Hands come behind. Roll the shoulders back. Lifting the chest. Open the heart. And as we come forward, hands come up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hands come down as we come up. Backs of the hands come together. Roll back body. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And gently release. Feels pretty darn good. We're going to work in those shoulders a little bit since we're going to be doing balancing and the full body's not going to get that range of motion that we would like for it to have. Kind of like yesterday, we did get a little more range of motion. Work through those shoulders. So we're going to let those arms come out. Palms are out nice and flat like you're pressing two walls apart. We're going to let those pinky fingers come down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to let that finger come up. Middle finger comes down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let that ring finger come up. Middle finger comes down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let that come up. Index finger comes down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let that finger come up. Pay attention to your breath because your heart rate may start to go up because your arms are still out. You got a lot of work going on here. Want to turn the thumbs up like you're hitchhiking. 1. Feel the work in the arms. 2, 3. Lift pelvic floor. Pull navel in. Where's your breathing? 4, 5. We're going to open those hands. Thumb comes in. Fingers wrap around. Nice full breath here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let those hands come down. Nice shrug with those shoulders. Rolling them back. Rolling them back. Nice. I love that. We're going to put the bottoms of those feet together and leaning forward. Extend through the crown of the head. Fold at that hip crease. We're hinging forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to gently release out. Now, we're going to take the time to massage the feet. So it's really important that we have this connection with the bottoms of the feet when we stand, because that is the foundation of the practice. Now, it's just the foundation of our standing posture, but when you're balancing, you really have to rely on just that one foot, that one leg, to give you enough support to balance the rest of the body. And it starts with the feet. Now, granted, synergistic muscles, inner ear, all those things are important as well, but that's the point of contact. So we're going to massage those feet. We're going to work through the toes. We're going to understand what they feel like, what they look like, and we're going to understand where the 4 points of the feet are. So if you're looking at your foot, I'm going to tuck mine in so that you can see. These 2 spaces here are point 1, point 2. And these 2 spaces on either side of the heel are 3 and 4. So when I tell you about feeling the 4 points, it's these 4 points. And then if you're not sure, if you lift the toes, it pushes the ball of the foot in. You really feel this hinge. And then you lower them back down. You absolutely feel those 4 points. But because during the practice, we're actually touching our feet, we're seeing where those points are, where the arch of the foot is. When we stand on them later, you will remember, because it's in that short attention span, I don't want to say it like that, memory, that you're like, okay, just like 10 minutes ago, I still have a picture, a clear picture in my mind of what my arch is like, where the balls of my feet are, and that's what I'm standing on. And because that clear picture's there, it helps you balance a little better. Let's see if we can fold in a little more. Nice long stretch. And slowly come up. Well, Mimi, I hope that there is not a flood watch for you. Knees come up. It was bad weather for you yesterday too. Sorry about that. It's not even hurricane season. Oh, that starts in June, doesn't it? 2 weeks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You're gonna bring those knees up, change the cross, roll the back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're gonna bring those knees back in. You're going to reach down, grab that right foot, extend that up. Really focusing on the leg. Now, whenever we're doing a lot of balancing posture, sometimes the balance is a challenge because physically we can't get into the posture. Like Warrior 3 is sometimes difficult for some folks because the hamstring is tight, and flattening completely out in that Warrior 3, your hamstrings are just like, nope, that's not going to happen. When we go to do dancer posture, your quad may be like, oh, this is really uncomfortable. And back to the center, and then that foot comes down. So we want to make sure that those legs are prepped so that we can get into the postures. We're going to lift those legs up. Nice stretch. Hamstring works. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to let that foot come down. Now we're going to drop those knees over to the left, sitting up nice and tall, but we're still bringing the awareness. And awareness back into postures, once we're familiar with them, really makes them more advanced instead of just doing something automatically. We want to try to push down both sits bones, even though this one's hiked up because of the rotation of this leg. Lifting pelvic floor, so you're tightening those muscles in the pelvic floor. Pull navel in, nice tall spine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to bring those knees up and switch to the other side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to bring those knees back up, extend those legs out, feel those sit bones. Maybe a little bit of a scooch. Lengthening forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Love it. Slowly we're going to come up. Wide angle. No, sir. Ooh, I do love you, but no, sir. Yeah, thanks for those kisses, but no. Oh, thank you for the love, but no. Okay? Down. Hey. Hey. Come here, down. You're not going to down. You are about it today. Thank you for the down. And we're going to lengthen forward to the okay. Taylor's home. So that was a legitimate bark. Yay! Now we can practice without stirring the beast. And lay down. Those toes are up. Nice long crown of the head. Feel those hamstring stretch. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to walk that body over to right side. Really trying to elongate through side. Pressing down through left hip. Lengthening forward. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to walk it over. Other side. We're really trying to get into the legs. And, you know, when I touch my feet, I understand a lot of folks in this particular posture, you might not be able to grab your foot. But grabbing the foot and feeling that awareness of, this is what my foot feels like. This is how I balance. Feeling that hamstring stretch. We're going to come back to the center. And then slowly come back up. We're going to pull those knees in and then hug them. Nicely done. Now, we're going to do just a little bit of reclined work so that we can stretch out those hips so that we can make it to our feet. I'm pretty excited about all that. Good morning, Jeannie. Good morning, Josh. We're going to pull those knees in and slowly roll back. Arms come out to the side. We're going to drop those knees over to the left. Nice rotation. We feel this opening through side body. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to bring those knees back up and over to the right side. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bringing those knees back to the center. We're going to put the bottoms of the feet up. We're going to grab the heels, pull those heels down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right heel comes into chin. 1, 2, 3. Really notice what it feels like to hang on to that foot. 4, 5. Kick that leg out to the side. So 1 is straight, 1 is bent. This is a little awkward. I get that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Bring that foot in. Left one comes out. Oof. Oof, oof, oof. 3, 4, 5. Bring that leg in. We're going to pull that left heel to chin. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And bring that leg back up. We're going to put both feet flat on the floor. Right ankle on left knee. Left knee comes into chest. Feel that rotation in the hip. Find that work on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to gently release down, and then we're going to take that right foot and place it on the floor and allow the leg to open. Then we're going to pull that left knee in. Hooking that foot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And gently release that down. I'm going to bring the knee back up, and left foot comes onto the knee. And pull up. And hook that foot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Gently release. Left foot comes down to floor. Bring right foot in. Hooking that foot. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Gently release that down. And putting both feet flat. Windshield wiper those legs a little bit, working through rotation in the hip, especially that internal rotation. You're going to feel that connective tissue here begin to lengthen and expand. Make sure you really pay attention to both sides, kind of feel it out. See if you can notice that there might be a little more tension or shortness on one side versus the other. Nice. Bottoms of the feet are flat. We're going to press down and lift up. So we did forward folding just a minute ago, wide angle forward folding. And we're contracting this backside of body to try to balance out the amount of forward folding we've been doing. So we have this nice long stretching, opening through hips, contraction through back body. Slowly see if you can articulate and roll down. Nice movement here. Pull the knees in, cross at the ankles to roll up. Straighten those legs. So in our movements yesterday, we talked about the 5 directions of the spine, which really helped in our basics. I'm going to review them with you today in case you didn't see yesterday, just skipping to basics with balance today. So we have forward folding, back bending, lateral movement side to side, twisting, and extension, where you're trying to lengthen the spine. We're trying to make sure we've touched on all of those places in the spine before we try to balance. We have this nice healthy spine that's going to help us position the shoulders and head over the pelvis so that we have really good balance. We're going to put the hands here next to the hips. Now if your arms are a little shorter, you can use blankets or blocks. And we're going to lengthen. Notice that I'm not trying to let my booty come off the ground. I keep my booty on the ground, but I'm taking the weight out of it. Chin is to the chest, looking down at the legs. And we're really lengthening. So from the collarbones down to the pelvis, we're able to elongate through the column of the spine, putting spaces between the vertebrae. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and slowly put some weight down. Now, I want you to give your wrists a rest because we still want to open the front of the body a little bit more. We've been in quarantine. Maybe you're watching this saved on YouTube years after quarantine, which is cool. This is kind of like a time capsule. But we tend to sit a lot, and so the front part of the body gets short. We want to open up that back body. So we're going to take the hands behind us. Fingertips are pointing towards the booty, and we're going to lift up, looking up towards the sky. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to slowly lower that booty back down. Release those hands. We're going to do that a second time. So we want the wrists to have a rest. And then we're going to bring those hands back. Fingertips are pointing towards the booty. We're going to lift up again, looking up towards the sky. Nice control of the head, opening through heart, building strength in arms, opening shoulders, contracting through back side. Where's your breath? Slowly lower it back down, resting your wrists. and release. So we're getting ready to make our way to standing. And I want us to come through squat first, so we can really feel the feet start to stretch through ankles and calves and the hips. So we're going to put the bottoms of those feet flat. We're going to see if we can come forward and sit down. So here I'm getting a nice stretch on the back of my ankles. I'm going to let those hands come forward a little bit. Really feel that work. Nice full breathing here. Feel that back work. Maybe a little stretch with those hands. And then we're going to see if we can come forward and come up onto the balls of those feet. Now back to basics is when we go to a yoga class, we get in there and there's this learning curve. You don't know what the poses are called. You don't know the etiquette. You might feel a little self-conscious. Maybe the clothes that you wear in the beginning aren't comfortable. And after a couple of times you forget all that. But as we practice and we get so used to the practice, we forget what it was like to be a beginner, right? And we want to come back to the practice with a beginner's mind. So we're going to slowly press to come up. And look at those knees, not your feet. So in that beginning, you're like, oh, I'm afraid I'm going to get it wrong, or I'm not doing it right. And there really isn't a right or wrong. It's that you showed up for your life, you're practicing. The only way I would say air quotes wrong is if you're doing something that might cause you pain. Bend those knees, slowly roll up. Shoulders come up, back, and down. That's the only thing, and that's not wrong. That would just be painful. So you would have to do a modification. In the beginning, you don't know what those modifications are. I try to remember what it was like to be a beginner all the time. And I was very much, and can be, still am, anal retentive. I need things to fit in boxes, and I color coordinate even my planner, and this is what this is called, and this is what this is called. And I understand that's control and security for me. But I would go to one yoga class, and then I would go to a different yoga class, and they called the same pose something different. And I'm like, that's not what they call it there. And then to find out, you had to let go of that, because not everybody calls it the same thing. It doesn't always look the same. So go practice and enjoy. Don't overthink about what my pose looks like or what everybody else is doing. Show up and practice. So we're going to do a sun salutation to shake it out, and then we're going to do our first balance after chair so we can make sure those feet are ready for our balance. Inhale up. Exhale, forward fold. Fingertips flat back, lengthening through the spine. Forward folds. Bend those knees. We're going to send that right foot back. We're going to ground that right foot. I don't know why we're doing that. We're going to come on up into warrior one. That's what we're going to do. And then we're going to come right back down. And we're going to step back to plank. From plank, we're going to chaturanga to the floor. Soften. Let those feet open. We have to stretch them in all different directions to prep for our practice. We're going to let that chest open. Nice smiles. Heart lifts. 3, 4, 5. That heart comes down. We're going to press to table, from table to down dog. From there, that right foot comes forward. We're going to lift up. Warrior one. Opening that heart. Oh. Hands float down. Come to the ball of the foot and stepping forward. Fingertips flat back, lengthening through the crown of the head. Forward fold, inhale all the way up. Hands come down. And release. So we're going to do a chair pose, and this is a chair pose from the Bikram practice where part of it you're on the balls of the feet. And again, this is prepping you for your balance. So we're going to come to the front of the mat. We're going to let those arms come straight out. We're going to bend the knees, send the hips back. Bend the knees, send the hips back. Tuck in pelvis. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Feel those feet. Really lift those toes, lower those toes. Where's your breathing? We're going to slowly come up. Lift to balls of feet. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to start to bend those knees, send the hips back. Bend the knees, send the hips back. Tucking pelvis, dropping shoulders, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Slowly we start to come back up. Now, knees come together, feet hover. So the heels are just hovering off the floor. We bend the knees, send the hips back. Bend the knees, send the hips back. Tucking in that pelvis. Drop those shoulders. 1, 2. Lifting pelvic floor. Pulling navel in. Notice where the toe pads touch. What's the temperature and the texture underneath your feet? 3. Feel those arms be heavy. 4. We're smiling. We have that extension through crown of head. 5. We slowly press up. Hands come down. And release. We're going to work on our tree posture first. So we're going to do a couple of things to prep for that. We're going to practice just on turn sideways so you can see what's happening here. We're going to bring this right knee in. Now this isn't tree. This is a way for us to practice balancing without a hip rotation. Okay? So we just have this here. But what typically happens is we do like this, or we do like this. And it makes it kind of hard to balance. But when we pull this knee in, it gives us this opportunity to send the booty back. That's why we just did chair here, because we worked on our feet, but we send the booty back. Send the booty. And you notice that when you pulled your hips back, that thigh could tuck into your pelvis some more. All it did was line your spine up. That means that you were able to align the weight enough that balancing was a little easier. Let's release that out. So you could feel that work in the hip crease. You could feel that push. Psoas gets to activate and help connect the two parts of the body together. Now let's try the other side. Right foot, heel, ball, toes. We're going to lift the toes, lower the toes. We're going to bring left knee up. Now it's not a forward. It's not a backward. It's a tuck. Lifting pelvic floor, pulling navel in, nice tall spine. 1, 2, feel that work, that abs and the psoas are pulling you up. You're lifting pelvic floor, navel is active, tall crown of the head, feeling the feet. Lift and lower the toes if you need to. 4, where's your breathing? 5, let that hand and leg float down. So you feel that work in the foot. Yes. So we haven't even made it to our tree yet, because with tree, not only are you balancing, you have an external rotation. An external rotation can be difficult, but we have this movement often, right? We sit down, the leg forms this shape. So it's better for us to learn how the hips feel and the feet feel with the leg forward. Let's do a dangle and just stretch that out. We're going to do that in between our balances. If you feel like you need a chair for the balances, you can absolutely get one, or you can use the wall or whatever's nearby. We're going to work on chair, or not chair, tree, and you can use a chair. So we're going to start with the left foot. Foundation work first. Heel, ball, toes. Then we put our weight into the foot. And if maybe you feel like you didn't make a good connection, maybe you don't feel the 4 points that we talked about earlier. So maybe you lift and lower. You want your toes to be going forward because your toes are an indicator of what direction your knee is going in. And you want your knee to be going forward. Now, put the ball of your right foot down. Right now, we don't have any external rotation. That knee's coming forward. We're going to let it pivot. This pivoting should not be affecting this hip. Then maybe the heel comes to the shin, and that's all the practice you have today because of your balance. No problem. Maybe you can lift in place. You're going to have a little shift. The body automatically shifts some. So let there be a contraction here so that you don't overextend your hip out. Maybe you can grab in place. There are some tree postures where the foot kind of hooks here in the hip crease and it kind of will stay in that spot. I always have difficulty with that one. But you can take that foot in place. Once you have a good position here, you can bring the hands to the heart. Now we want to think in basics for this posture. 4 points of feet. Lift lower toes. Contraction on left side of hip so we don't over push. Left thigh is pushing in. Right foot is pushing against left thigh. Right knee is rotating back without moving left hip. There's a tuck in the pelvis. Lift pelvic floor. Pull navel in. Nice straight spine. 3, are you breathing? 4, 5, hands open. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're going to gently release that out, walk it out. That's a lot of work, a whole lot of work. When we do it not sloppy for more than 5 counts and really focus on what we're practicing, it gets kind of hard. Good morning, Frank. Nice to see you. All right, we're going to try the other foot. Heel, that's the first 2 points. Ball, second 2 points. So now we have 4. Toes. Toes are like French for the feet because ideally the weight should be in those 4 points. We put on the weight, and once you feel the weight, if you can feel all 4 points, you're great. But maybe you have to lift and lower the toes first. Make sure toes are forward. Standing straight. Left knee is bent. Then rotate it out. So we had this rotation in the hip that did not affect the right hip. It didn't swing for that to happen. There's a little contraction here on this right hip so we don't shift to try to get the weight up. Then maybe you can put the foot on the shin. Really concentrating on a contraction in left glute, which is going to help this external rotation. Maybe you can bring it up and place. Now, when you put the foot here in the thigh, a lot of times you'll be like, oh, my pants are too slippery. I am pushing in with my left foot, but I'm equally pushing against that foot with my right thigh. So you're trying to press a piece of paper or something between the two. Contraction through here, lifting pelvic floor, tucking pelvis, active navel, tall spine, hands to heart. 1. Are you breathing? 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's put those hands up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hands come back to the heart. And release it out. Oh, Lots of work. Maybe we're going to stretch the tops of those feet a little bit. So I have the top of my right foot turned down. Nice little stretch, working through that tissue in the ankle. And let's do this side because we did not stretch that side out. And gently release. So we're going to hang forward. Should feel pretty good. Maybe you shake it from side to side, doing elephant pose. Well, there's a legit elephant pose. So this, we can call this an elephant walk. And bend those knees. And slowly roll up. So that's a lot of work. We're going to take those same things and apply them to our next balance. So our next balance is going to be dancer pose. Now, there's lots going on in dancer, and you'll see it all different kinds of ways. And that's why I tried to mention that to you, that everybody has their interpretation of these postures. There was only a handful of postures, maybe 26 or 20 in days of old, and those were just enough to be able to sit in meditation, because this is 1/3 of the 8 limbs of yoga is asana. So there's so many poses now. Don't get caught up in the semantics. Yesterday we talked about it's the feeling versus the function of the posture. Balance is very good for keeping that body toned, making you feel better. If your body feels better, your mind and your attitude will feel better, and it'll increase the value of your day. So we're going to work on dancer posture, one that's attainable for everybody. I want to talk about the arm placement first before we balance. You will see a lot of people turn here and grab their foot. Sometimes it's a little easier to grab the foot, but I want you to see that that closes off my shoulder, and I don't have a lot of room. I can't let my hand go up higher because my shoulder is turned out. Versus if I change the rotation and my shoulder's open, see how much higher my arm will lift? Which means I can help lift the leg up higher. If I have it turned here, I can only go so high, right? So that's another reason why we turn that out, so we have more mobility to come up, all right? So I want you to see if we can work through this foot. Heel, ball, toes. We're going to put some weight on that foot. If you feel like you don't have good contact with those 4 points, you can lift and lower the toes. We're going to reach back, turn palm out, grab the foot. Maybe this is difficult for you. Maybe your hips are tight, your quad is tight. Maybe you have to just grab like this. Maybe you need to get a strap to go around your ankle if you want to practice with this and take your time at home. So we have that foot, nice tall spine. Now, we're going through all of those same things. What are the 4 points? Are the toes going forward? Knee is going forward. Lifting pelvic floor. Small tuck. Lift navel. Tall spine. Then this knee starts to travel straight back. So I'm going to let my arm come up. The knee goes straight back. As the knee goes straight back, then we start to tip. Maybe this is all you have. That is okay if it is. As long as you're feeling the stretch, it is the feeling versus that function or form. The function is important. The function is to stretch, it's to focus, it's to find your breath. But the form, don't worry about the form. How's it feel? 1, 2, 3, 4, breathe. 5, 6, 7, smile. 8, 9, 10. And slowly come down, walk it out. Big difference when you do it right. Bottom of your feet might tingle a little more. Maybe your calf is on fire because you didn't let your leg wing out. Your body wants you to succeed. So it will cheat for you so that you can achieve what you want it to. And we have to say, no, I don't mind taking the time to do it right. And it's this connection between the mind and the body. Good morning, Palacios. Oh, you wrote me in English. Muy bien. Right foot, heel, ball, toes. I'm going to put the weight on the foot. Maybe you lift and lower those toes. Now we're going to remember about this hand. It's like we're going to hitchhike, right? Like we're waiting for the car and it goes by. Open the hand. Grab the foot. Now we stay here. We just take a second. We're just prepping. We feel the 4 points of the right foot. Maybe we lift and lower toes. The knee is tracking forward. We're lifting pelvic floor. Small tuck. Lifting navel. Tall spine. Right arm lifts up. Start to come forward. The knee's going straight back, and maybe this is it. Maybe you're like, okay, that's my limit. And that's okay. Maybe the dog's jumping on you, cat's crawling on you, you're having a difficult time. All good. 1, 2, 3. 4, where's your breathing? 5, are you still lifting pelvic floor? Pulling navel in. 6, smile. 7, 8, 9, 10. Release it out. Holy guacamole, right? A lot of work. Let's do some things for our ankles and our toes. So last time we stretched, this time we're going to do balls of the feet. So it kind of looks like Elvis. My baby done left me. Burr, 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 burr. Change direction, roll it out. Let's do the other side. Roll the balls of those feet. And change the roll. And release it out. Nicely done. Cross the arms, forward fold, hang. We feel that lower back release. We feel the work. 3, 4, 5. We're going to release those hands down, bend the knees to slowly come up. Last balance for us today in our practice. So we're going to work on eagle. And eagle's really nice because the first pose, tree, even the prep for tree, we brought the knee forward and then out, right? Because we practiced. Then with balance, we brought that hip back. So with eagle, we're going to bring it back in. Bring it back together to midline. So we're going to start with our left foot. Heel, ball, toes. Feel 4 points. Feel connected. Put weight on it. But in eagle pose, the leg's not straight. There's a bend to the knee because this leg will have to hook on that knee. So we want to make sure the toes are forward so that the left knee is tracking forward. So we're going to bend and then cross. We want to keep these legs tight. No gaps in between the thighs here. We want them to squeeze together so that we have that stability of being like one leg. Okay? So in the beginning, we can totally leave those toes down. We're going to go over the posture here. So keep those toes down so that you're not tired. If the right knee is on the top, the right arm is on the bottom. So there would be a crossing here. Now look at where my elbows are. You want to imagine that someone put a marble between your two elbows and said, don't drop it. Which means my right elbow is kicking into my left elbow and my left elbow is kicking into my right elbow. Try that now. Our legs are crossed with the foot down, so staying in this posture shouldn't be too much of a challenge. So we're squeezing this invisible marble between our elbows, which really fires up the back body and the shoulders, right? We're going to start to lift those elbows up by the chin while still squeezing. This pose just got a whole lot harder. Now, lift pelvic floor, pull navel in. Now see if you can lift right foot and hook. 1, 2, 3, 4, lift those elbows, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Unwind, unhook, walk it out. That's a lot of work. If your heart rate's running, maybe you have to take off that jacket if you're hot. If you're practicing this posture with the wall, it's easier if you put your back against the wall because you have so much going on in front of you. And I would rather you do that than try to lean your shoulders and cross. So you would put your back flat against a wall and work on the cross. So let's see what we've got for the other side. All right, right foot, heel, ball, toes. We're going to lift and lower those toes. We're going to put some weight in that foot, keeping the knee bent. And we're going to see if maybe we can cross that left leg over. We're going to put the toes down for now. All right, so we have those toes down. Left arm is under. Right arm is over. Now remember this little ball that's between those elbows. We're going to try to squeeze it. Lift those elbows up. Nice rotation here in the shoulders. You feel the shoulders really kick in. We feel that work in the back, across the back body for sure. We're lifting pelvic floor. We pull navel in. Nice tall spine. See if maybe now you can lift that left foot. 1, 2, 3, 4. Keep those elbows up. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Gently release it. Gently release those feet. Come to the front of the mat. And breathe. Inhaling up. Exhaling, forward folding. Fingertips flat back. Forward fold. Step back to down dog. Bending and stretching. Bending and stretching, lengthening through the spine, filling in lower back, broadening the back, turning the eyes of those elbows up, letting those heels sink towards the floor by opening the tissues on the backs of the knees. Lifting pelvic floor, pulling in navel, flattening out lower back. Nice work. We're going to lift right leg without opening hip. So your right leg's pointing straight behind. Now we lift and bend knee open through hip. 1, 2, don't let it travel into the shoulders. Keep them squared as best you can. 3, 4, 5. We're going to let that right foot come down, squaring off those hips again. Maybe a bend and stretch to find your alignment. Push left leg straight back. And then rotate that leg up. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That foot comes down. Knees come down. Child's pose. Maybe we can rest the wrists here. Some rotations in the hands. And then from there, we're going to slowly press up. We're going to sit over onto that right hip, bringing those legs forward. Nice work for us. Pull those knees in. Hug them. Now from there, we're going to scoot down a little bit. We're going to pull down onto our back body. Oh, nice work. A little rock here from side to side to really massage the back. Arms come out to the side, drop the knees to the left. And then we're going to bring those legs back in and drop them over to the right. And back to the center. Pull those knees in one last time. And we're going to put the bottoms of the feet flat on the floor. Hands come beside those feet. We're going to press down through those feet. Lift those booties up. Nice contraction through the back body, but we're going to lift and lower those toes. And that's in link to our standing postures we were practicing on, our balancing, still getting in touch with those feet. So try to press down with your feet, but with your toes lifted. It will really change how you feel through the bottoms of those feet. And slowly lower back down. Extend one leg and then the other down to the floor. Maybe you use a bolster or blankets at home for comfort. Find your breath. We release the feet, the ankles, the shin and calf. We move through the knees and into the thighs. We soften the glutes and pelvic belly. We release the lower back and navel. Mid-back and solar plexus. Shoulder blades and heart. We lift the collarbones and soften the face. We make sure that the arms and hands are relaxed. The scalp sags towards the floor as we find our breath. And maybe your breath is shallow with inactivity here. So I encourage you to feel that inhale up back body and exhale down front body. Now, if you're at home watching, feel free just to lay here and take all the time that you need to release and to find the awareness in the body. Finding that place of ease and effort, noticing where the body works today. Maybe you feel it in the feet. Maybe it's someplace different for you. We're going to bend one knee and then the other if you're going to try to sit up with me. We take a pause here. If you need to, you can bring one knee and then the other to the chest, feeling that lower back release. And then we can roll to the right side. Now from the right side, we're going to slowly press up to a comfortable seated position. When we make it to that seated position, we're going to slowly just take the time to turn the head to the right. Turn the head to the left. Back to the center. Try to find awareness in the body. Where do you feel the sits bones? Do they feel balanced? Can you feel them both? Lifting that pelvic floor, pulling the navel in. The spine is straight. Shift the shoulders over the hips. The breath is full. We created an awareness in our practice today that got us out of our mind and into the body in the present moment. We're going to bring the hands to the heart. We're going to remind us of all the amazing things we have in our life to be thankful for. We're going to send out love and kindness and compassion to those who might need it. I'm going to end the practice with an Om if you're comfortable inhaling. Bowing forward, Namaste. Peace be with you. Go safely. And thank you for practicing with me. Thank you, thank you, thank you for showing up and practicing with me every day at 9 a.m. It makes me so happy. We have such a good time. If you like the videos, share them to other people's Facebook pages or try to send them over to YouTube. So now with YouTube, counting today, there's more than 53 different practices because I had some on there where I kind of started a channel 6 years ago. And try to maybe send them that way so that we can subscribe and make comments and bring me closer to the top of the search when you go to look for Michelle Pugh. Small thing about tomorrow, I have teacher training this weekend and I'm busy tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. However, don't panic. Later today, I'm going to film a video for you that I'm going to post at 9 o'clock tomorrow so that you'll get a chance to still do your practice with me at 9, but it won't be as interactive. I'm going to film it later today. And I'll have Parker and all the same stuff. So I will post that tomorrow at 9, even though I'm going to film it today. Sunday, we should still be back on track. Even though I still have teacher training, we're going to try to just include them because those are kind of like scholarly Sundays. So it's not too much practice. It's only about 30 minutes. So my teacher training students will either come and participate in that or come a little later after I'm done. So tomorrow there will be a video, but it won't be live. So, big hearts. I love you.